Hi, everybody. Today we're going to be curing some pork belly and getting it ready to smoke to make some bacon. So what I want to do first, I'm going to go over the ingredients that we're going to need for the whole thing, and then we're going to talk about the measurements and ratios that you're going to need for that. The ratios are standard. They can't really be played with or your bacon's going to end up way too salty and it's not going to taste very good at all. So one of the main ingredients, obviously, if you're curing, is going to be a curing salt. This is a prog number 1 salt and can be purchased. I think I paid about 15 bucks for a 1 kilogram bag. This will do about 500 kilograms of bacon, so more than enough bacon to last me for a while. You're going to need sugar. You can use maple sugar, brown sugar, white sugar. It's entirely up to you. I just go with the standard white sugar. My family likes a plain normal bacon. And salt, regular white salt. Now, for this particular batch, I'm going to use 2 pounds of jalapenos. I'm going to cut this into thirds, and 1/3 of this, I'm actually going to do kind of a semi-dry wet cure where I'm going to blitz these down and I'm going to make a jalapeno bacon and see how that turns out. So let's quickly go over the equipment you're going to need for this. Knives, we're going to use one for trimming. This one here, I'm going to portion this into 3 pieces. It's easier for me to work with that way, and the longer knife makes it easier to cut evenly through. I'm going to need a food processor so that I can blitz down the jalapenos we spoke about earlier. A cutting board is very important. Paper towel for cleanup. And because we're doing a dry brine, I'm going to use a food saver to vacuum seal everything. A scale is also very important. You're going to need to make sure that you're weighing pretty much exact measurements for at least this. You can go a little different, heavier with the salt and the sugar if you want to, but the pink curing salt you really should be very, very accurate with. So we're going to go ahead and get ready to trim this down. So the first thing I'm going to want to do is get this cut open and start getting it trimmed. I'm going to trim down into 3 pieces. I'm going to do 2 that are going to be of a regular flavor, just a straight bacon cure. And I'm going to do 1 that's going to be the jalapeno bacon that I showed you earlier. We're going to weigh each piece that we cut separately so that we can accurately calculate how much curing salt we need for that specific piece. I'm just going to guesstimate there. I like to use this long knife. It makes it easier to get a nice straight even cut here. Perfect. Actually, I think I'm going to do this into 4. It's kind of big. So I don't do a lot of trim. I'm not an aggressive trim guy. I think that bacon should be fatty, in fact. I just look for any imperfections. This one doesn't look to be too bad. Look for any hanging pieces of meat here. Anything looks like it might not cure evenly. So first thing we're going to weigh this. I need to know exactly how much this weighs in grams. So I have almost exactly 2,000 grams, 2,003 to be exact. So your mixture ratios are as follows. For the pink curing salt, you need 0.25%. So you're going to take your weight in grams. So I have 2,000 grams. Actually, I'm going to do 2003, even though I don't think it's going to change the number any. You're going to multiply that by 0.0025, and that gives me 5. So I need 5 grams of curing salt. That's the prog number 1. I need 5 grams of that for the cure. I will put the ratios in the captions as well, at least the percentages. That's it. That is 5 grams. The ratios for the sugar and the salt are pretty much even. It depends whether you want a saltier or a sweeter. It's 2% to 2.5%. Some people go as low as 1. Most it's around the 2.5% mark. So for that means I'm going to need, I believe it's 50 grams, but we're just going to double check with the calculator. That's why we have it. Yes, 50 grams. So we're going to zero out the scale here. There we go, 50 grams. We're going to do the same amount of salt, 50 grams. And all of this goes on this, both sides, ends, everything. just kind of shake off the excess, and you can do your ends as well. So quick tip, if you ever find that you've cut a bag a little too small, or even if it's not too small, but it's not as big as you'd like it to be, you're trying to put it in vacuum seal and it's puckering, what you can do is set everything on your cutting board and just slide it right up. By bringing it up flush to the vacuum seal, you won't have as much issue getting it in there and getting it closed and doing your thing. Okay, so I finished up curing the regular bacons. These are already cured and sealed. They're going to go ahead and go in the fridge for about 14 days. You're going to flip these every day. And the reason you're going to flip these every day, and you can already see it starting, there's liquid starting to come out. And that's just the salt pulling the liquid out of the meat. Now, as it cures, it's going to dry and become a little bit firmer. So you're going to flip it every day so that liquid can redistribute back through the meat. With the jalapeno one we're going to do, I've gone ahead and already cured it. It's set up with the salt and everything. We're going to puree some jalapenos. I'm doing 2 pounds of jalapenos. I'm not even going to bother taking the stems off because I'm not eating any of this. I'm just going to throw it through, make a puree, dump it in here, and do kind of like a hybrid wet-dry cure. So it's not often that this happens, but that actually looks almost exactly as I envisioned it should look. So I feel like the easiest thing to do is going to be scoop this in 1 cup at a time with a measuring cup. All right, clean that up and get this sealed. All right, so after a minor hiccup where we had a little bit too much fluid in our bag, it ended up making a big mess. Gone ahead and we pivoted a bit. We took out as much air as we could, double sealed the bag so it is completely sealed. It's not a big deal that it's not completely vacuum sealed because when you do a wet brine, you're just dropping it into a bucket full of basically salted water anyhow. So you're not going to have that vacuum seal. So this should be just fine. We'll find out for sure. I'm going to go ahead and put these in the fridge. We're going to flip them every 24 hours. They're going to cure for 2 weeks. And at the end of 2 weeks, we're going to go ahead and smoke them. I'm going to go ahead and just jump to that 2-week moment, and we should be there right about now. So we are now 3 weeks in advance. It was supposed to be 2, but due to unforeseen circumstances, I had to wait an extra week. You will notice that all of your bacon will be significantly firmer than it was when you put it in here. The big part of that is the salt has started drawing out some moisture, which is tightening up the meat. The longer you let it cure, the more dense or the more firm it's going to get. So what we've done is we have filled 3 tubs with water. We need to rinse all the curing agent off of these because you cannot eat the nitrate salt or the prog number 1 salt. It's not edible. It's fine for curing, obviously, but you have to rinse it all off. And then what we're going to do is we're going to let it soak for about 15 minutes, and then we'll get it out to the smoker. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take the bacon out, and we're just going to pat it dry real quick while the smoker is heating up. And then we're going to put it on another cookie sheet. I just like to transport them on a cookie sheet. I just find it makes things so much easier. So these first 3 pieces, these are just standard, regular old bacon. Nothing fancy to them, just regular cured bacon. This is the jalapeno cured. Now some of the green has stained it, which is good. That tells me that the flavor's probably stuck to it and hopefully got into the meat. Just doing this because once again, I don't want to contaminate with the jalapeno flavor, and I have limited options for carrying my food out. So the next time you see me, we will be outside, I promise. So as previously promised, we are currently outside. Our smoker is now up to, we're sitting about 240. We're going to bring that temperature down. We want it to sit around 225 degrees. We're going to take our meter probe and we're going to find the thickest spot on this piece. And it looks like it's on this side here. And we're just going to put that right in the middle. Then we're going to place those on our smoker. Better angle. That side up. These will smoke until we hit an internal temperature of about 150 degrees. then they'll be considered done, ready to cool, and then slice. So next time I see you, we'll be down to 150 or up to 150 degrees on our bacon. So according to our meter, we've hit our desired 150 degree internal temperature. We're going to go ahead and take this off, let it cool, slice into it, and give it a taste. So when everything is done, this is what you should be left with. I'll get you a close up of this. This is the right color. Sometimes it'll be a little bit darker, sometimes it'll be a little bit lighter, but this is about what it should look like. And now what I want to do, I'm going to go ahead and slice into this. I'm going to turn my frying pan on. This is the jalapeno one, so I'm going to slice into this one. I'm going to fry up a chunk and give it a taste. I'll let you know how it is. So we're just going to take a couple of those slices that we cut off, and we're just going to toss those right in this hot frying pan. Let those cook up and see how well they did. This is the jalapeno one we're doing now. So when this is done cooking up, we'll do the taste test and we'll see how it came out. All right, so after a minor mishap, I may or may not have burnt my bacon a little bit. In fact, I'd love you to comment down below how you like your bacon cooked. Are you chewy? Are you crispy? Are you just burn it as black as you can get it? It did come out pretty good. It does look a little bit charred, but it's not bad. It still pulls apart. The pureed jalapeno worked fantastic. You can actually taste that all the way through. It is a little bit spicy, probably spicier than some people can handle. I might try it next time with a couple of habaneros in there. I'd like to get it even hotter. But for now, I'd love it if you could like, comment, and subscribe. I'd appreciate seeing you in my next video. Have a great day. Enjoy your bacon.